The NFL Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Bet Rivers. Claim your risk-free bet up to $500 over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betrivers. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betrivers. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time tickets make the perfect holiday gift. Download the Game Time app and use promo code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Yes, sir. We are back with another edition of the NFL Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. No me, no the voice, no the guy. It's me, really real, villain real, Terrell from Virginia here at your service. Man, when I'm not out here giving out 50-1 DGen parlays with DK Metcalf, 100 plus yards and 2 touchdowns, I'm out here fading the Cowboys against the spread, cashing. Unfortunately, that money line didn't come in. That was, Scott.
It looked really good the entire way through.
130-1, DK Metcalf, 2 touchdowns, 100 plus yards, and a win. 130-1 looked good until it didn't. Scott Studio Rochelle, everybody. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
Yeah, doing pretty well. Had a pretty good Thursday night game last week. I was wrong on the Cowboys spread, but I got everything else right. I had the over in the game. All 3 props got there. I had the Aubrey field goals. I had the Cooks receiving yards, and I had the Geno interception. And I also had Cooks touchdown at plus 260, and that got there too. So good overall Thursday night episode. I'm going to save the Sunday stuff for the next episode that we do because we had a show bet that we got to recap on the next episode. But overall,
yeah, I mean, you got it done. The Kansas City
I'm going to save that though for the afternoon game show for tomorrow. But
all right.
For the sake of Thursday night, that game had a lot of points, and they might have used up all the Thursday night points in that game because this game we're about to get is Big Ten football quality, and there's going to be a lot less touchdowns. I'll tell you that much. It's going to be rough.
I mean, so you have the Pittsburgh Steelers getting a Thursday night game against the New England Patriots. Steelers are laying 6. And then, first of all, they're laying 6. The total is 30.
A flat 30. There's no and. It's just 30.
There are preseason games that have higher totals than that. I think the majority of the preseason games had higher totals than that.
I think you're right.
And then you get to the injury report, and Kenny Pickett is not playing, so you got Mitchell Trubisky starting here. You're going to get Minka Fitzpatrick, and you're going to get Patrick Peterson for whatever that's worth. But questionable tags on Mason Cole, the center. You got a questionable tag on Najee Harris. He didn't practice at the end of the week, so Najee Harris is really looking like a not going to play. And for the New England Patriots, you got Kashawn Butte, Demario Douglas, Ramondre Stevenson, and Sean Wade all ruled out before Thursday even hit. Already ruled out. Juju is questionable. You got Devontae Parker, who's questionable. Trent Brown, offensive tackle, he's questionable. Christian Barmore, defensive tackle, he's questionable. Looks like Zeke's going to play. They need him, so it's not like he has any choice. But, I mean, the injury report is disgusting. You lost an explosive back on the Patriots side of the ball with Ramondre Stevenson. And then you add that we're now getting Mitchell Trubisky football. So you have Mitchell Trubisky versus Bill Belichick and some combination of Zappy and Malik Cunningham versus Tom Coughlin. Points are at a premium, guys. Points at a premium.
So I'm assuming we're both on the under, despite how disgusting it actually looks.
Yeah.
I mean, New England can't score a touchdown, so I can't really go against.
I question Pittsburgh's ability to score touchdowns as well, too.
Correct.
So yeah.
I mentioned New England specifically because I want to read off these recent offensive showings for New England.
Start with the zero. Start with the zero. Just go ahead and get that one out the way. Just get the last 0 out the way.
In order. 0 against the Chargers, 7 against the Giants, and 6 against the Colts. Each of the last 3 games they've played and have had less than 18 points. So I can't take 30. I just can't do it. Now, Pittsburgh had a pretty underwhelming showing against the Cardinals. Weird game because there were multiple weather delays in that game, so it actually took a long time to complete. But the Steelers offensively are still not good, and they've scored less than 17 points in each of their last 3 games, even after firing the offensive coordinator. So I'm on the under. I see a very ugly game. Do you have a score prediction here? I'll start off with the spread. In a low-scoring rock fight, do you actually trust Tomlin to get up for this game after a no-show in the Cardinals game? Or do we see a classic Tomlin game where he's a favorite by a decent amount of points and he lets the other team hang around?
I think that it's the classic Tomlin's a favorite by a decent amount of points and he lets the other team hang around. But one touchdown and we are like, this is an easy covering spread because I'm not certain if New England can score. Like now, maybe, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. You have Bailey Zappi, who he's been around the organization for a while, but it's clearly there's something you don't like about him. You haven't committed to just giving him the ball out, outside of Mac Jones, like just giving him the reins and letting him try to figure this thing out. They always play this pigeon game with him, Mac Jones, and now I guess they're throwing Malik Cunningham in there. I don't know what they're doing offensively. It's terrible. And so I want to take New England +6 so bad. I want to take New England +6 so bad, but it just feels like that is too easy. And New England's not good enough to even put up more than 10 points.
Do we think New England's tanking or are they actually this bad?
No, I think they're actually this bad. I think they're
agree.
trying the hardest. I think they're trying
but
the
I'm
hardest.
asking. Because the defense has been good.
But that's what makes the bad teams in the NFL so much worse than the bad teams in the NBA. Because the bad teams in the NBA will get up for a night. Or they may be just tanking. Like they could legitimately just be tanking. Like that is a reason for it. That's why they're so bad. Oh, they're tanking. In the NFL, if you're this bad, you're trying your hardest and you're still this bad. How do I back you? How can I back you? You tried your hardest for 3 straight games and you couldn't get over 7 points.
For me, I think I'm going to lean Steelers just because even though Tomlin usually lets bad teams hang around, it did just happen last week. Tomlin usually doesn't have this happen in consecutive weeks. It's usually a one-off.
Yeah.
I think his team's ready to go in this game. It's in Pittsburgh, which helps, but
yeah.
I do think I would have taken New England if they played a good team last week. But since they no-showed the Cardinals game, I think they get up for this one. Now, I'm not sure New England's going to score. So that's going to be a reason why I'm going to pick Pittsburgh. If I had to pick a score, give me some type of 13-3. I think it's disgusting. I think Pittsburgh probably scores 1 touchdown. But I think 13-3, 16-17-3 sounds about right to me.
I think it's 16-9. I think they get close to 10 points, don't get there. And
you're giving New England 3 field goals. Nice.
Yeah.
They're going to take that.
Or they can score a touchdown, miss the extra point, or whatever.
Okay. Yeah. Or a safety.
Yeah. I really just didn't want to give them 10, but I do think that they can kind of get to 10. But I think Pittsburgh can get to 16-17 pretty easily. Like, I mean, Mitch is bad. I admit Mitch is bad, but they're starting to find something with the ground game. And that's really, really going to open things up. If they just get the ball to Deontay Johnson, get the ball to Pickens, get the ball to Freiermuth, like they have the options, they really, really should be able to get this done. So,
well, I do want to ask you though, since you mentioned Trubisky, how big of a downgrade is it actually from Pickett to Trubisky? Is that even worth a point on a betting spread, in your opinion? Because Pickett's really bad too. So I understand Trubisky's not any good, but you have to at least compare it to what he's replacing.
I'm trying not to think about when I was watching was it the Jags game, where I watched him throw in the triple coverage for an interception while we were trying to go down and get a cover. Really to win. I watched him throw that ball into triple coverage. So I have to move him down somewhat. Like it's got to be at least a half. I'm going to talk to an odds maker. I would say it's at least a half, but it's not. I don't think he's a full point better than Kenny Pickett now.
I think half I can get behind. It's definitely not a full point. That's kind of the point I was trying to make.
Yeah.
but give me Pittsburgh by.
Yeah, I'm gonna lay the
My
6.
prediction, I have 10.
I was really just trying to I was trying to convince myself to Benedict and take New England, but New England sucks, man. Like this is a bad football team. They could accidentally not cover the spread.
The victory lap that I'm going to take for my offseason prediction that the Patriots might end up getting Caleb Williams is going to be legendary if they end up getting there. Before the draft, Munaf and I were talking about future tanking teams, and I said New England. And I even threw out the odds of New England to have the worst record in the league. I'm hoping for it so badly because it would be a great victory lap by me. But I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, great call.
Pre-draft, so it was a long time ago.
All right. Before we get into the rest of the Thursday night slate, got to talk to you about Bet Rivers because Bet Rivers is available in over 14 states, plus Ontario, Canada. Bet Rivers also has live betting markets, some of the best live betting markets. I'm telling you, a whole bunch of props. Like everything is second to none at Bet Rivers. Depositing, withdrawing, all that super easy. Bet Rivers play of the day is that under 30, man. I just can't tell you. I can't tell you again. I don't know how these teams are going to be able to score. So give me the under 30. Sign up using our link and get a risk-free bet up to $500. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betrivers. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/betrivers. Problem gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. All right, first touchdown. Who was first touchdown in that game? Was it DK? It was DK. That doesn't count. That doesn't count. We were never he was like plus 750 or something.
I gotta assume he was higher because the Seahawks were projected to get buried in that game, but it was one of the lower prices.
Okay. Did I go first?
I believe so.
Yeah, I'll go first again because that doesn't count. DK, I hate when it's such an easy first touchdown. But there was one the other day. What game was it where it was one that was crazy the other day? And I was like,
Sims?
How was I not on that?
The Packers one, Sims?
Yeah. And I was like, dang, how was I not on that? Like, I should have been on that. All right.
I feel like for future reference, if I want to take a long shot on a first touchdown score, I should just bet the backup tight end. Like every time. I know, I really should.
All right. So, Scott, no touchdown score is 15-1.
It's such a terrible deal, though, for no touchdown.
It's such a bad deal.
For comparison, by the way, the Chargers-Patriots game, no touchdown in that game, which cashed, was 135-1.
So I'm gonna start us off with one from both teams. It's pretty easy. I'm sure you're on the same wave because I'm not taking no touchdown score at 15-1. Like you're playing in my face. You're honestly truly playing in my face. So I'm gonna take the Pittsburgh Steelers 22-1, their defense, and I'm gonna take the New England Patriots defense at 30-1 because both of these two teams are good enough to give the other team a score.
Yeah, we got the same thing. I got Steelers defense and special teams at 25-1, and Patriots defense special teams at 35-1.
Yeah, so that's fairly easy. Now, let's say both of these two teams actually get in the scoring position. I took a very easy chalk way for the Patriots, and that's George Pickens at 11-1.
I got the same thing.
I mean, it's so easy for him to get a 75-yarder or a 50-yarder, get behind the defense once. Like, that's all I need, just once. So, George Pickens, we are 3 for 3. I'm almost positive that we're not going to be 4 for 4.
I took a Patriot. So,
yeah, I took
we'll see
Patriot
what happens. Yeah, we'll see what happens. You could just say it, and I'll let you know first if I have him or
no, because I'm trying to change it. No, because I want to change. I kind of want to change my mind, but no, just give me Bailey Zappi at 41, man.
Okay, we do not have this guy, or I don't.
Yeah.
Okay, we have one.
I'm taking
opinion.
Bailey Zappi at 41. This is, I mean, is it somebody else that's starting at quarterback?
No. I thought you might have had some. I don't think Malik Cunningham at odds, so I think that you're fine.
Oh yeah, I would take Malik Cunningham out. If
I saw Malik Cunningham start, honestly, he's more fun. At least he can get.
No, if he was 100-1, I would play him. If I had 100-1 of Malik Cunningham for a touchdown, I would play it. I just don't have it. Yeah, I'm taking Bailey Zappi though. I mean, the starting quarterback at 41 is just a misprice. I really don't have anything. This offense sucks.
I mean, we saw Browning of a touchdown. Wasn't first one, but he had a touchdown Monday night. That was like 10 or 11-1. It happens. Yeah. All right. So
play Zappi 12-1 for a touchdown because of that.
We have 3 out of the 4 that are the same. Pickens 11-1. You mentioned the deep play. He also, can get some jump balls near the red zone. He also has led Pittsburgh's wide receivers in snap count every game this season. My lone Patriot that you do not have is Hunter Henry at plus 2,300. He's been fine for the most part. He's the starting tight end for New England, which is, I guess, that means something because it means he's on the field. But to go through Pittsburgh's recent performances, not good against tight ends. Pittsburgh's allowed a touchdown to an opposing tight end in 2 straight weeks. They kind of gave up 2 to McBride because 1 didn't count, which I thought should have, and then he caught a touchdown the next play. So he kind of had 2 touchdowns in 1 trip. But I do think that Pittsburgh's linebacking core and overall safeties have not covered tight ends well this season, especially for the last couple of weeks, in the red zone in particular. But McBride torched this defense. I saw the same thing a couple weeks ago. Give me the starting New England tight end who has been known to catch some touchdown passes from time to time. Give me Hunter Henry at plus 2,300.
All right. I like it. I'll let that go. I'll actually go ahead and segue that into my props because I do actually have a prop. And you basically hit the handicap on the nose of why I wanted to back Hunter Henry is because, the inefficiency against tight ends. Hunter Henry actually might be the most stable offensive weapon that they have over the past couple of years. Like, he's never been terrible. I don't think I've ever watched Hunter Henry and been like, dang, Hunter Henry looks bad.
If he's bad, it's because of bad quarterback play. He looks fine.
Yeah. Like, it's never a moment where I'm like, dang, Hunter Henry just doesn't look good. Which also makes me think, like, man, do you remember how we were bigging up Hunter Henry in Los Angeles or San Diego?
I thought he was good with the Chargers. He just got hurt every year.
Yeah. Like, we were like, hey, Hunter Henry, a healthy Hunter Henry could be a top 5, tight end. And so this is a really good matchup. I think that, you'll have a battle with some of the other tight ends there because they have a rotating door at tight end for whatever reason. I have no idea why. They have a really good one. They just don't utilize them all the time. But, yeah, Hunter Henry over 22.5 receiving yards.
All right. You want to just alternate or you want to just
you
read
go
all
ahead.
3? All right. So I'm going to go with the other tight end. I'm going to go with Freiermuth. I'm going to take him over 28.5 receiving yards at minus 115. He's had at least 29 yards in each of the last 2 games, and even though the Patriots' defense as a whole this season has been pretty good against tight ends, it's mostly, I'd say, front-logged. They did allow Everett last week to have 4 catches for 44. Freiermuth really didn't do much in the last week's game. Nobody did on that offense besides Pickens, who had a couple catches. I think Freiermuth bounces back. I think he's a solid player in general, but I do think New England's defense against tight ends is a little bit overrated because they have not allowed a single touchdown to an opposing tight end, which kind of boosts their numbers against tight ends. They do give up some yards, and I do think Freiermuth is a staple on this team. I think he gets to 30. He's not going to go over by much, kind of like my Brandon Cooks angle last week, but it doesn't matter if he goes over by 10 yards or 5. It's fine. Give me Freiermuth to have at least 29 in this game.
I like that. I actually had that prop as well, but I come prepared because I know that we
see eye to eye on a decent amount of these.
Yeah. Mitchell Trubisky. So I was sitting here and I knew before I hit the button, I was like, I know Mitch is a minus price. I know it's a large minus price. What is too big of a number that I could see where I wouldn't lay it with Mitch throwing his interception? Because I think it's almost guaranteed. Like if you made it minus 200, I would understand. But it can't be that because that's just insane. It's minus 140.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take it every day of the week. I'm gonna take it
Makes
because
sense.
I watched him throw that interception in triple coverage, man.
Yeah, he's gonna throw it. He's not gonna learn anything. He's gonna throw it. So
he did it, and that's what's also frustrating. Because there's so many people that will cape for a lot of these quarterbacks, these backup quarterbacks in the league. And that's why I'm like, why do you give some of these guys multiple chances? Mitch has had the opportunity to be a starter. He's had the opportunity to be a backup. He's had the opportunity to fill in as a backup for the starter. He has had all of these opportunities in the world, and he continues to do the same thing time after time after time. Give one of these random rookie quarterbacks that you're pulling out of NCAA. It's 130 quarterbacks that play in NCAA plus every year. Like, Give one of them a chance to be a backup and see if they can play ball because clearly Mitch doesn't have it. He's gonna throw that interception.
I mean, you said the same thing about. To be fair, you said the same thing about Zappy. We know what
Yes.
Zappy is. Like he was great at Western Kentucky. That doesn't mean anything. You can let Malik Cunningham play once in a while.
Let Malik Cunningham, at least see if Malik Cunningham can do it. We don't know if he could do it. If I was them, I would be starting Malik Cunningham right now.
And once again, what happens if Malik Cunningham doesn't do it? Nothing. You've been losing every game anyway. You've scored 13 points in your last 3 games combined. It doesn't matter who you start at quarterback.
Oh, Billy Zappi's going to come in, and we're going to finish the season on a run, and we're going to go and finish out 7-10. We're going to be 7-10.
It doesn't matter. Your team's bad. Just you might as well kick some tires and maybe find a backup quarterback.
See what you got in Malik Cunningham because there's a good chance. He could be really good. You don't know that. Give him the opportunity. So stupid. I think it's so stupid. Yes, Mitch, interception, -140. Scott, over to you for your second prop.
All right, for me, I'm going to go with George Pickens, and I'm actually going to back him. I'm going to go with the longest reception, over 18.5 yards at -115. Trubisky can be bad. I just need one good play. That's all I need. I need one good play from him to Pickens. But 18.5 is a bit short because we know Pickens is a big play guy. He's gone over this number in each of the last 2 games, and he's gone over this number in 8 of his last 11 games. He's a big play guy, just simply put. And I do think that the main focal point of the new offensive, I can't even say regime because everyone who got hired or got promoted should be fired anyway because this offense sucks. But at least they're trying to get Pickens the ball more, especially down the field. We saw last week, he was kind of the only thing that worked well against Arizona. He only had 4 catches, but he had 70-something plus yards. So he's no stranger to big plays. Give me Pickens to get loose one time against an injured secondary. 18.5 yards at -115.
Okay. I had a bunch of props that were really close to being my third prop. Deontay Johnson over 4.5 receptions at +125 is very tempting. No matter.
I remember I wanted it at 3.5 when I looked, but he constantly lands 4, and I couldn't take 4.5.
At 4.5, man, at plus money, he gets the ball. But I ultimately went against it. TJ Watt also came up as well, -160 for that 0.75 sacks. Pretty close to pulling the trigger on that. But I think I'm just going with Zeke, man.
Because he's the only running back alive on that team?
And Pittsburgh's run defense sucks.
But Connor killed them last week. Revenge game, but he had 2 touchdowns, 100 yards.
But that's why I loved it, because it was a revenge game at a position that they continue to get killed at.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Zeke over 61.5. Pittsburgh is really, really bad against the run, man. They're one of the bottom 5 teams against the run over the course of the season. You just heard when we talked about James Conner and what they let James Conner do in, his second game back? I think?
A second or third game back, one of those.
Yeah, Zeke is a lot of things, but ultimately when I watch this team, Zeke continues to do that power running thing, and the only reason that it hasn't worked out fantasy-wise or even maybe in a betting sense for you is because it's very obvious when Zeke is running, so teams are when he's in, he's probably going to be running the football. And so teams are oh, we know Zeke's running the football, we're putting everybody in the box in the third. And then you start going and intermingling Ramondre Stevenson in there, and it starts adding variance. But now that Zeke is the all-time back, and I can sit here and say they'll probably give him the ball 20 times, he can get to 61 if you give him 20 carries now. I'm not saying
that would be the pivot I would ask you, though. Is there a reason why you're taking the yards instead of the carries?
Because I think that I like a better chance of him actually breaking one on this defense rather than assuming what's his carry. I don't even see a prop for his attempts.
Oh, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah,
I got a database up. I'm asking because I have not seen Elliott break off many explosive runs over the last 3 years at this point. So that's why I was kind of wondering if there was a reason. Rush attempts? No, I don't see it listed. Never mind.
Yeah, but I feel like
maybe closer to game time.
I'm not sitting here you can ladder him. You can ladder him if you want. I'm not saying I'm going out here and I'm throwing him in the ladder list already because of this matchup, but man, 20 carries at 3 yards per carry, he's better than 3 yards per carry, man. And I do think he gets a bunch of carries here because At this point, you're letting Zappy go out there. You're not unleashing him to even see because you don't want to make a mistake and lose the game. Like they're just gonna run Zeke a whole bunch of times in this game. Zeke is gonna get them in the red zone. They're not gonna do anything with it. They're gonna kick field goals. Zeke over 61.5 rushing yards.
All right. And for my last play, it kind of segues into the last point you made. You mentioned field goals. I'm going to go with the other team, though, but my kicker props have been good. Give me Boswell over 1.5 field goals and minus
Oswald does have a
125.
picture.
He should have a picture. He's been in the league for 45 years. He should have a picture.
Boswell
But
he's been in so long that they might not have been taking pictures at that point. And so he actually didn't have a picture when he got into the league because pictures weren't invented. And then pictures came in about year 3, year 4 for him.
His picture might be in black and white, maybe.
Yeah.
But,
so the original one is definitely black and white, and he definitely had to stand there for like a good 10 minutes while they were taking the picture.
Yeah. But for Boswell, I'm going to go with him over 1.5 field goals and minus 125.
How old is he?
He's attempted at least 2 in 5 of the last 6 games. Yes, I know he missed against the Cardinals, but Tomlin electing to kick a field goal down 14 was hilarious in the second half anyway. But the point is, New England is allowing 2.3 field goal attempts per game, which is tied for the 8th most in the league. New England's a good bend but don't break defense. It's just what they do. Tomlin, look, I know he's successful. I know he wins games. He's too conservative. It is what it is. Like, this is who he is. He's going to kick field goals down 3 touchdowns because he can. And I think Boswell gets there, simply put. Not to mention maybe a Zappy turnover at his own 30, and Boswell can kick it. But if you want to give me Boswell, a reliable kicker, to go over 1.5 in, and to go through the numbers for Boswell, he's gone over in a lot of games. I think it's 7 of the last 11 he's gone over in. But Pittsburgh, we know, with a game where New England might not score, he's probably not going for it on 4th and 1. I think he's going to take his points. Give me Boswell over 1.5 field goals and minus 125.
Chris Boswell, I'm so sorry, man. I thought you were way older than this.
I feel like he's been there for at least 10, 15 years. He's not Nick Folk old. Folk's been a kicker for maybe 20 years. I think he's been around for 10.
I'm so sorry. I thought you were way older than this, man. This man is only 32.
Really? I thought he was 36.
He got in the league in 2015.
I thought Folk was easily 39 at this point.
I am so sorry, Boswell. I thought you were way older than that. That man is only 5 years older than me. Oh, man. He's actually younger than Sean and Ryan.
Nice.
I'm so sorry. I mean, looking at him, he looks old. I thought he was way
older. I mean, I would have assumed Kramer was older than him because Kramer's coaching a youth soccer team. So I assumed that Boswell was younger than him. But yeah, Boswell, low 30s I didn't expect. I thought he'd be closer to 35. Folk may or may not be 42, but that's a separate story.
I thought he was close to 40. Oh, man. All right. I'm here to talk to you about PrizePicks because, look, Andrew Schultz and Meek Mills on PrizePicks, and you can do it too. You can hop on their community plays and you can tail them, or you can tail us because guess what? We're giving you a PrizePicks lineup at the end of this show. So you are going to be able, you can tail us, or you can go tail the guys, like a Meek Mill. Meek Mill, he might know what he's talking about. I got to go up there and check his plays out. Hey, and guess what? You ain't got to worry about injuries. No injuries, nothing like that to worry about because we have that reboot policy where if your player gets injured in the first half and does not return in the second, then that player is rebooted. You will get that injury insurance. The only daily fantasy sports platform with that injury insurance. Make sure you tap into PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN. Get that code SGPN. Get your first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN. Code SGPN. PrizePicks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Also brought to you by Game Time. Make sure you download the Game Time app if you're looking to give out any Christmas gifts. Hey, look, if you want a Christmas gift for me, if you appreciate me and what I'm doing here for a Christmas gift, get me tickets to go see Ja Morant when he gets back to Memphis, his first game in Memphis. Memphis is going to be crazy. I'm trying to go to that game. I am. I know this is an NFL show, but I'm trying to go see Ja Morant in that first game back against the Pacers. So
I'm going to some Yankee games, man. They got Juan Soto today. I'm going to some Yankee games.
So is it official they got Juan Soto? Or
they're doing the physical. So the trade's agreed to. They're just going through the medical stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. So I guess Yankee games, you can add those up there. But make sure you go to the games early when they are really hopeful about the season because about halfway through it kind of dies out. We're talking about game time. Make sure you use game time to get those tickets, man. I'm telling you. Make sure you use game time to get those tickets. And if you find a ticket in the same section in a row, then they will credit you 110% the difference. Game time tickets make the perfect holiday gifts. Download the game time app, create an account, and use code CFDX for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and redeem code CFDX for $20 off. Download the game time app. Last minute tickets, lowest price guarantee. All right. We're in the DFS portion. I'm going to kick it over to you first, Scott. What are you doing here in the DFS league?
All right, so a couple ways to go about it, but I actually think one of the most popular captains for this game is going to be Pittsburgh defense. So I'm not going to pick Pittsburgh defense because that's what a lot of people are going to anticipate. I actually went with a wide receiver. I went with Pickens as my captain at 11,000. I think that
That's definitely different. I ain't gonna hold you.
That's what I'm saying. Like
different.
it's a popular choice.
I was not expecting you to say an offensive player.
It's a popular choice, but it's not. Because I do think there is a world where Pickens can break one and end up with 4 catches for about 100 yards and a touchdown. I can see that happening. But I do think that Pickens is an offensive player, as you said before, that a lot of people might think about and then realize, nah, I can't take it. The total's 30. But I think it's a decent spot for a low captain spot Pickens percentage-wise. And I do think that, once again, he can get loose on this defense. I do think that Trubisky, even though he's not very good, he does trust Pickens, at least in some jump ball capacity. I think Pickens can get loose against this defense. Give me Pickens as my captain. I think it's, once again, a pretty sneaky option for what could be a guy who has a very good game in a game with not many great stat lines.
All right.
So that's my captain. I got both defenses. Duh. I'm not going to waste any more time on that. I got both defenses. I got Boswell because, duh, I'm going to take Boswell with him. And I took Trubisky. I did it. I took Trubisky. I decided to put Pickens as my captain, and I'll leave Trubisky elsewhere. But the point is, if I'm picking Pickens solely on the idea that he has a decent chance to catch a touchdown pass, then somebody's got to throw him the touchdown pass. Give me Trubisky as my flex option at a high salary.
Hey man, you could take that risk if you want to. I don't even know who the backup is for Trubisky.
I'm not even sure anymore.
Oh, it's Rudolph. It's still Mason Rudolph.
Oh, he's still there. Okay, cool. Shout out to him. It is December, Christmas time. Shout out to Rudolph. But nah, I'm gonna go with Trubisky at as my other flex, my last option. I think that there could be one big play with the two of them, and if New England might not score a touchdown, and Trubisky and Pickens connect for a big play, then suddenly the lineup makes a lot of sense. So there you go. To read it off one more time, Pickens captain spot, Steelers, Patriots, Boswell, and Trubisky. That's it.
Okay, all right. Let's see here.
I'm assuming you're picking a defense in your captain spot?
Yep. 100%. Well, no, not in my captain slot. No. So my captain slot, actually, I went Boswell.
You did? Okay, I like it.
I want to win $1 million. I want to be different. I went Boswell. And honestly, Mitch is bad enough to get them across. He's good enough to get them across midfield, but bad enough to make every single field goal a fucking stretch. And Boswell knows Heinz Field. He knows when the wind is what way, I need to kick it like this. When the wind is that way, I need to kick it like that. If we're on this side of the field and the wind is going like this is how I need to do it. He understands how to make those high pressure kicks in this field at home, where he's been for what I thought was a century, but it's actually only been a decade.
By the way, it's still Heinz Field to us. I don't care.
Yes, it's still Heinz. I don't even know what the other name is, to be honest.
I forgot also. I was shocked Boswell missed. I roasted Tomlin before, like in passing, that I just found it funny he kicked down 14. I was shocked Boswell missed the kick because he's usually very reliable at home.
I agree. So I 100% agree. And so I went with Boswell. We're actually, and then this is where we're pretty much matched with a lot of stuff. Steelers, Patriots, defenses, Hunter Henry, George Pickens, I'm trying to get creative with the last one, man. Trying to get creative.
Do you want a Steelers running back? Do you want Elliott? What are you looking for? You could go with Warren or maybe Najee if you wanted to go for something. I feel like most people would take Najee Warren might be a pivot. Kind of.
So what I want to do is
just take Malik Cunningham already. Get it over with.
No, I really do want to take Malik Cunningham, but I'm not. I really do want to take Malik. I think that this is too early. I don't think it's
It is too
I think it's at home. I think it's at home when we get the Malik Cunningham. He comes off the bench and he has a 2-touchdown game.
Every time he gets elevated, I assume he's just the emergency quarterback. They just bring him up solely in case Zappy dies. That's kind of how I look at the situation right now.
Yeah, give me Calvin Austin. There we go. I was waiting on that. Give me Calvin Austin. And I'm just banking on maximizing points value in Calvin Austin returns a kick. Because he's going to get plenty of opportunities. Like plenty of opportunities. So that was the last thing. Because he only got one return chance last week. But Calvin Austin's a pretty good returner. And ever since they got rid of Gunner and now the Giants somehow felt like they needed to take him, he's been able to flourish more. So I'll take my chances. I'm trying to win $1 million. Give me Calvin Austin as my last play. All right, Scott. Lock and dog. Well, anytime touchdown.
I'm going to let you go first. You can take the under if you want it.
Yeah, no. I'll let you have it because Mitch is throwing that interception, man.
Okay.
Mitch is throwing that interception.
And what's your touchdown score? If you think there is one. Gotta throw that out there.
That is also an equally scary possibility that there actually isn't one, so we're wasting money.
For the record, by the way, you should not be betting no touchdown score in this game. The odds are
terrible, bro. Like, don't let them play in your face like this.
There's no point.
Don't let them play in your face like this.
No.
Like, I would rather it hit and I didn't bet it at this terrible price than for me to bet at this terrible price and it clearly doesn't hit.
It's one of the worst prices I've ever seen for a prop like this.
To be honest, it really is. I will. I don't want to take Pickens from you because you did a lot of leg work on Pickens. I really want you to have that one. And
I actually did not take Pickens as my choice.
You didn't? All right, then give me Pickens at plus 320. Took that, ran with that real quick. I'll take Pickens at plus 320 for sure.
All right, so for my lock, I'm going to do it. Give me the under. I thought about New England team total under, but you can go either way. Pittsburgh's defense has been a bit iffy, though. New England's defense, though, good. It could also be because other teams realize, wait a second, we can just hand the ball off 3 times and punt, and we win the game automatically. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the under at 30. I have a 13-3 final, so, yeah, I don't think it's going to be very close. But give me the under. This game should be disgusting. I'll be watching something else. For my touchdown score, I actually did pick a New England player because I do like the price. Give me Hunter Henry at 6-1. I think it's a good price. With Pittsburgh giving up a touchdown in back-to-back weeks at tight ends, I do think Henry is one of the only options that the Patriots have left. Every receiver's on the injury report, so they got to throw it to somebody. I don't mind Henry at 6-1. I think that's a decent price.
All right. Let me see here. What's the highest total on the board for this week? The Cowboys and the Eagles game at 52. Their safety prop is 13-1.
Are we doing this now? We're betting safety. We're betting safeties.
Because, man, like
I'm not like against it, but like I understand.
Just the price difference. So their prop is 13-1. This one is 6-1.
Well, wait. So it's 13-1. Wait, 13-1 for which team to get a safety?
In the Eagles and Cowboys. I went to the game with the highest total. The Eagles and Cowboys game. That safety prop is 13-1. This is 6-1. I think they're cheating us out of this again.
They are.
I was really expecting to see 8. I was really
safety in any game should blindly be north of 10-1 because you need so much to go right for a safety. Even the Jets-Falcons game, they had a punt down at the 1-yard line. Perfect punt.
But I was sitting there and I was like, dang, like they are really killing these punts. Like they're down, like they're gonna need a safety at one point. Like, and that's where maybe that's just a live bet prop. Wait and see who's punting well.
Based on that, by the way, the highest total with the Cowboys-Eagles, you are more likely to see no touchdown in the Steelers game than a safety in the Cowboys and Eagles game, based on those odds. Because no touchdowns like 11-1, and safety is like 13-1.
That is really trash. All right, let's get this PrizePicks lineup and get up out of here. That's really trash. They really played. I really thought I was going to get that at like 40. Like, even at 41, I'm like, oh, that's a stretch, but I'll play it.
No,
I really
usually it's
thought I was
somewhere in
gonna
the
do
10
that.
to 15 range, but 6-1 is absolute
No,
nonsense.
no, no. I was talking about the no touchdown prop.
Oh, no touchdown. I thought
Yeah.
it was going to be closer to like 20-1 because we saw the Steelers play the Titans on Thursday night. That one had a low number as well. 11-1 or 15-1 is so disrespectful. I'm going to throw this out there. The people that won on Thanksgiving with the bland interception, that's one of the dumbest bets I've ever seen in my life at 30-1 for him to have a pick six. If you take the no touchdown at 11-1, I do not view you as a serious bettor. I will just call you out directly. That is a completely idiotic bet to make at 11-1. Just saying.
It's not worth juice isn't worth the squeeze. All right.
Boswell
Let's
field
see
goals.
here. I don't have a longest completion prop. I have field goal made for Boswell, so we can add that in there.
You want Trubisky interception.
They don't have it, so
Of course they don't.
But
Do they
I
have
did
Zappy
add.
interception?
Huh?
Do they have Zappy interception?
No,
Any
they don't have any
interception?
interceptions. But I do have Zeke rushing over 61.5.
I personally don't like Zeke in this matchup, but if you want it, we can take it.
We can do Henry. Henry's receiving over 22.5. I like that.
I like that anyway.
Okay. So we need one more.
Okay. Do you want to do TJ? We can, if you want to. They don't have it? Okay.
No, they don't have one for them.
What is Pickens yards at?
Pickens receiving yards is 39.5.
Do you want that or no?
Yeah, because he could get that in one go.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. It only takes one. All right, we can do that. That's our 3-pick PrizePicks lineup. We have Chris Boswell, more 1.5 field goals. We have Hunter Henry, more 22.5 receiving yards, and we have George Pickens, more 39.5 receiving yards. Add all of that up in the PrizePicks machine, and it will give you a 5x. $20 gets you $100. $100 gets you $500. Make sure you use that promo code SGPN at PrizePicks.com/SGPN. All right, Scott, anything else for people before we get up out of here?
No, not really. Find something else to watch instead of this game, but hopefully our bets cash. Besides that, nothing more to add. Yeah, looking forward to the rest of the sports week. That's it.
All right.
Tomorrow we'll be back once again on this show for the afternoon games.
We will.
For Sunday.
3 people in the live. Make sure you like the video. Give us a up. Now it's down to 2. Didn't even want to catch the song. It said down. It's down to 2. All right. You like the video, comment, subscribe. Anybody else that comes through, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Y'all know the deal. Like, just help us out. Appreciate it. Like, we really do appreciate it. And for everybody that's listening to this through wherever you get your podcast, drop us a 5-star rating and review. Appreciate that. And it can be a bad review too. You can completely say how I suck in show bets. Perfectly fine. Just leave that 5 stars with it. I appreciate it because that means Scott is 4-0. So if you blindly back Scott, you're still winning money.
I'm not talking about it until the afternoon games episode.
Still winning money. I'm trying to get ahead of it, but Scott's not letting me.
It's fine.
So with that, I have nothing else to say, nothing else to do. No way of any podcast just going to be like this. Oh, man. The worst thing about losing the show bet, I was perfectly fine losing the show bet, but losing the show bet with the greatest quarterback of all time really, really does hurt. We're out of here.